Hi, I'm Alex, and welcome to the readerramblespodcast, a weekly podcast where I ramble about bookish topics and help readers navigate life. Today is episode 3, and I'm very happy that I've made it this far. I want to thank everyone for the wishes on my last episode where I talked a little bit about having a foot injury. So thank you to everyone. I am feeling better today. It's been like a week, so I'm better, but I also need to get stuff checked out and stuff like that. But today I'm fine. I've actually had a pretty good week, work related. I've had a lot of good things come up, and yeah, I'm doing pretty good. I'm gonna grab my water that's over here really quick. If you're on audio, you'll see that I have a new little setup. I'm sorry too if you can hear my laptop in the background. I am trying to get a new laptop. I hate this laptop so much because it's so loud. So if you can hear it in the background, I'm so sorry, but I'm trying here. But I did get a little microphone set up and I am very happy with it. I did a whole equipment buying thing for my channel and for this. So I just ended up getting this, and then I ended up getting a new tripod and microphone for this camera. So thank you to everyone who supports me on Patreon. Without you, I would not be able to fund my channel, so I really appreciate it. So before we get to today's topic, let's talk about my current read. It is still House Fires. I'm taking my time with it, but also I've had everything going on. I haven't really been in the mood to read, but I'm loving it so much. I realized in my last episode I did not mention who Connor Franta is. So Connor Franta is a YouTuber, and he makes I think he makes good videos, and they're aesthetically pleasing, and I just always love the conversations that he has. I'll have his channel linked down below if you want to just look at him. I believe I'm 100 pages in, 127 to be exact. He is a YouTuber, so I am going to read this for my YouTuber book series. YouTuber books are usually known to be bad or cringy, and so I feel weird putting him into that box, but just for the sake of the video, I want to put him in there because he is a YouTuber who wrote a book, but a very good one. I love all of his books, and they're all nonfiction, and they just have photos and poems and just some chapters that are discussing things in his life, and I just love this. I'm taking my time with it, but I also need to finish it because I have to start my read of Game On and Icebreaker, which are coming out at the end of the week, and I have to do a reading vlog for that. So it's gonna be a busy week, but I'm fine with that. And for my shelf reduction, I am actually going to be talking about it in my wrap-up, so I think I'm going to just say what the totals are, because I have a little spreadsheet now that I created from a template that I saw on Instagram, and so I'll link that account down below if you want to look at them. This is the one that I am using. It's up on the screen if you're watching on YouTube. I don't want to give too much information away, but I'm doing a video where I bought books, so I now have accumulated 5 or 6. But it's fine. They're actually all books that I actually wanted to read, so I'm fine with that. So that is what I'm currently reading. That's how my week is going. I hope your week is going well, and let's dive into the topic. Speaking of book buying, today's episode is all about where I shop, and how I donate books. I wasn't sure what I was going to do for this week's topic because I had a plan, and then I realized that I already did what I was going to do. I was going to do 5-star predictions, but I don't really care about that because I'm not doing a rating system anymore. My rating system is just going to be liked, loved, and disliked. That's it. And I'm actually super excited for that, and I have not finished my first book of the year yet. So I was struggling with the episode for this week and what topic I was going to talk about, and I decided let's talk about book shopping because I just did my book haul and I think it would be a nice follow-up. So here we are. Let's talk about where I shop and how I donate books and all of that. So I'm not a really big book buyer. I was last year just because I was able to buy books again. I really didn't have the funds before because I was unemployed, so I just couldn't do it. And I use my library a lot. I use Libby, I use Hoopla, and I'm pretty fine with that. I also just have so many books as well, but I don't really shop that much. When I do, it depends. I do use Amazon sometimes, but if I can use Bookshop, I will. For my pre orders, I always go through Bookshop. However, I can see the problem because there's not a lot of international places, like they don't cater to international people. Or I don't know if Bookshop, I don't think that Bookshop is international. I could be wrong. As of the time I'm editing this, I wanted to mention that Bookshop does have a Spain shop and a UK shop. However, it doesn't look like they cater to anywhere else, but I guess that's what Book Depository is for. I also use that because it's a little bit easier, but I do have a lot of international friends and followers. So whenever I get a sponsorship, I always make sure that they are catering to international people, that international people can have access to it. And that is a big reason why I don't have any sponsorships. So I have never had a sponsorship because the companies that come to me are not able to be accessed or used internationally. I have a pretty big following internationally. I have a lot of followers who are from Australia, from Canada, or from the United Kingdom or elsewhere, and I wouldn't feel right to promote something that you can't use. So if I ever do get one, it will hopefully be international. And yeah, that's just my little spiel on that. Back to the podcast. But I know a lot of my international friends can't use that or Libro FM because they're not international. But I also have a Kindle, so I love doing the Kindle daily deals. And so I can use Bookshop sometimes. My Barnes& and Noble, oh my god, I was so pissed off because I just got a Barnes& and Noble gift card for Christmas, and the local Barnes& and Noble closed, and they said they were moving to a different spot, and we called, and no, they're just not reopening. So the other one is 20 minutes away from me, which isn't that far, but like if I'm just going to Barnes and Noble, then I have to like make a whole trip of like where else we're going to go, and it's just far. I used to have the Barnes and Noble membership because I would get free shipping, but I don't have that anymore because I wasn't really buying books and I wasn't buying from Barnes & Noble. I use Bookshop when I can, but the shipping costs can be a lot. So, yeah, I use Bookshop a lot for my pre-orders or like any diverse books. And the two bookstores that I buy from are two Philly bookstores, and they're Black owned, and it's Harriet's bookstore and Uncle Bobby's Books and Coffee, and I would love to go and visit there when we can, because I am a little afraid to go outside now because there's a lot of COVID spikes. I was going to go see Spider-Man. I got spoiled for some of it, and I'm so annoyed because like I don't want to go to the movie theater. I'm scared. I am actually scared. So oh yeah, but also with my foot and all, I couldn't really, but I also just am like really scared to just go anywhere. So yeah. But I feel like I do most of my shopping online. However, when I can, I do go to other bookstores that are in my area. I think this one is like maybe like 20 to like 30 minutes away. I'm not actually sure. Let me actually look that up. Yeah, the other independent bookstores I go to are 20 minutes away. That's kind of the problem because I live in the suburbs, and so it's like everything is like out here, and you have to just like kind of like go outside of here to be able to go places. So sometimes I just have to use Amazon. If I'm going to gift somebody something, I'm going to use Amazon. I try not to use it as much, but I also don't really feel that guilty because I also use independent bookstores, and just some people don't have the means all the time. I guess this is also pretty timely because I know that there was I think like a debate sparked or something like that about where people like shop and stuff like that. I saw like a TikTok about it. I feel like since I use everything to buy books, I am fine with using Amazon. It's just easy for me to use. And if I one day hit the lottery and I'm able to fully support indie bookstores, I will, but sometimes I have to use Amazon. But I also use my library and I go to independent bookstores as much as I can. I don't drive, so it's a little bit harder for me to get places. I have a lot of anxiety. I'm hoping to hopefully get driving started this year. And of course, I was like, oh, yeah, I'll start it. And then my foot is like, oh, sorry, you can't walk. So I'm like, okay, all right. Thank you so much for just crushing my dreams and everything like that. So hopefully it's going to happen this year. I don't know. I don't really want to go into it, but I don't drive, and that's all that I'll say here. I am trying not to be as open as I want because I'm gonna be making a video on this, but I just kind of need a little balance between audience and me because sometimes I do get some not very friendly comments sometimes of people kind of thinking they know me, and so I just want to reiterate that you don't really know me. I don't share a lot of my life on social media. You do not know a lot of the things besides what I actually show online. Another thing, I feel like also with the pandemic and all things kind of shutting down, I used to go to my library's book sale all the time. I donate books to them a lot, but what they just ended up doing is you kind of have to go in, meet with somebody, and they'll tell you if they accept the books that you're bringing or not. So it's going to be a whole big process, but I don't know. I guess I could share this, but for the video that I'm doing where I bought books, which I'm trying to be super vague about, I was able to actually donate my books to the one company that I bought from. So that was actually awesome because I have a stack of books now from when I did my shelf reduction. And so that's pretty awesome. So now I can do that. That's really the big problem is that I don't drive. So it's kind of hard to get to places. The places I can go are super limited unless somebody will take me when they have some time. Also, I know most of the people that have started listening to my podcast are very nice, but I just feel like I need to give this disclaimer. I don't really want any questions about driving in the comments, please, because I don't really think that that's something that, I don't know, I've never shared it before, and I don't really need to hear the response, honestly. Unless it's positive, I don't really need to hear oh, you're 27 years old and you don't drive. Trust me, I get all those comments all the time, and it's kind of weighing me down, and it's the worst to start the new year off because I try so much with my content and then I get people who are kind of being passive aggressive, and it's annoying. So just please be respectful in the comments. And also, if you're on Apple Podcasts, you can review. So if you are liking the podcast, you can leave me a review. So today's episode is going to be a little bit shorter just because this isn't a lot that I have to talk about. But I use my library to donate books. There's also this bookstore that is near the other independent bookstores that I go to. And they are a really used bookstore. They have really cheap books, so I always donate to them. And I also wanted to give this tip. I use Facebook groups, so there will be ones in my area. I try and find teachers and stuff in my area that I can just send my ARCs to because I just get a lot of them and then I don't know what to do with them, and I can pay for shipping, but sometimes it's a lot to pay for shipping. So just depending on how my week is going and my financial state, it's a little bit hard for shipping sometimes. So I would suggest if you have any books lying around and you don't know how to donate them, I would suggest asking people in your neighborhood, because I bet you there's probably some teachers or just people with kids. I have like a school around me, so there's like a lot of like kids in the area, so I am actually lucky that I'm able to do that, but I know not everybody has that luxury to be able to buy books. There's always been a bigger conversation about consumerism on BookTube, and I don't think I'm the person to talk about it. My name is Marina. She's talked about it before in a live stream, I think, so I can link that down below if you're curious. But let me know how you buy books, how you donate your books, and all of that stuff. That is, I guess, it, unless I have something else. I feel like this is the first podcast where I really rambled because I don't have like a outline. So I'm just kind of talking from my head. And so that's kind of it. I buy books sometimes I don't. I am very grateful to have ARC sent to me and to be able to work with books and authors, but I also use my library a lot. I'm very thankful to have a library because I know a lot of people don't, and I'm very grateful to have a library that has a really good selection because I love libraries. That's kind of it for today. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I know it was like super rambly, but it's Reader Rambles. That's what you're signing up for. If you want to submit a problem that you have and want me to give advice on it, it's all anonymous. You can send it to readerramblespodcast@gmail.com. I hope to get some soon, but it's fine if you don't have one. I am not looking for like a pity problem, but if you have like a little debacle that you want me to give some insight on, I would love to. So if you're interested in that, the Gmail is down below. And if you want to follow me on social media, it is at Books and Paperbacks on Instagram. So that is it for today's episode. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't, if you're watching on here, because I saw my analytics and I think like 80% of viewers do not subscribe. So subscribe and turn on the bell notifications so you don't miss an episode. They come out every Monday or Sunday if you are a patron. Thank you for listening. I hope you're all having a great week. This has been the Reader Rambles podcast, and I will see you next week. Bye. It's that jam that you bump all night.